we are diving right in here on these aerial photos from BioReconstruct, who has just become one of the greatest resources we have in covering Orlando theme parks with his drone, video and drone images that he takes of the parks from a bird's eye view. So let's have a look. We're seeing Villians Land and Piston Peak under development right now. Right here is Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. So this is the area that was once the Rivers of America, is now no longer. It's completely filled in. So this will reportedly be Cars Land, this area right here. And then you'd have to assume this then will be Villians Land, because here's Haunted Mansion's showroom or show building over here.
Wow.
So aerial view of Piston Peak National Park work site with a quick clip of Cinderella Castle painting. Let's take a look at what BioReconstruct has seen over there. Real quick, I'm gonna share this tweet here from BioReconstruct. Can you guys see this?
Yeah. Well done on the enlargement there.
So let's take a look.
That's zooming in. That's great.
So we got the painting, and so right here we got the flyover. So this is right up here. We've got so Haunted Mansion. This was the boat dock right here. So this is all completely filled in now. Completely filled in.
Depressing.
Can I say something that concerns me?
Yeah.
So you replaced the waterway that had essentially managed, stable weight in the area surrounding it, and we also know that this is built on what would normally be considered the second level of Magic Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask, are they gonna do the kinds of studies and surveys they need to make sure that this doesn't become a sinkhole?
I mean, I would hope so. Right?
Oh yeah.
No, I just feel like a lot of shortcuts were taken along the way here, and we're getting this done in such haste. Bob was like determined to destroy this area for some time, and I just feel like this might be more risky than we even want to investigate or admit. I'm concerned.
Let's take a look at this right now, though, because see these look like they're going to be walkways right here, probably some food stuff and souvenirs here. But it looks like this right here, this large structure here that seems to be there seems to be some kind of red paint on the ground around it. I'm assuming this is your primary e-ticket attraction here, right?
Yeah, I think so. From what it looks like.
On the right side of the photo where that squiggly like white, is that the only place where there's going to be water in this?
No, I think that's the construction wall.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
They have a new wall now where the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad attraction is, so that those guests cannot see what's happening over. And he did what in his cup land?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at some more. All right, so here's Big Thunder. Okay, no, so here's the construction wall. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe this is going to be the water feature.
Wow.
Here.
So as part of Villians Land, because it's going to stretch through what is normally would have been the backstage of the park, do you think that they're going to make a bypass that will get you to the backside of New Fantasyland?
I would assume so. I would think Fantasyland's going to have a portal into Villians Land. That would make sense, like thematically also. Like, you don't go through cars to get to Villains. You go through the worlds of fantasy and heroics.
Yeah. So, and this is why none of this was necessary. They have substantial land behind these multiple show buildings there.
Right.
That it made no sense not to just create a new access from New Fantasyland, which is, in my opinion, a flop. It added no new net attractions, and it took away some uniqueness, but. At the same time, this doesn't make sense. This layout, anything around cars should have been in the Studios Park. We've already had this conversation.
Oh yeah, Magic. It doesn't fit in Magic Kingdom 100%. Or if you were going to do something with cars in Magic Kingdom, you put it where Tomorrowland Speedway is.
Yeah, in Critter Country,
is probably the same amount of space as Tomorrowland Speedway.
Yeah, this is a terrible idea. If somebody ever comes, to their senses at Disney, this would be the first thing I would hit the pause button on and try to figure out how to repurpose it and maybe bring back the old stuff. This is going to be a disaster for Disney in the long term.
Well, let's have a look at more here. We're zooming in.
Oh, wow.
So there's Tiana's Bayou Adventure there. There is Big Thunder right there. Here's the wall. So this is all, so they're building something out here, which is not the wall like I thought it was. I don't know if it's going to be a canal or something, but they are building a huge structure right here.
So it's going to be one main attraction and then a little one, right? Like a big one and then a smaller one.
That's what they're saying, yeah. So let's take a better look at this. Okay, so this is the wall right here coming around. So this is something completely different. Maybe a show building. No, I don't think it's a show building. I don't know what it is.
You know, one of the other side effects that nobody's addressed or talked about is that the cats are gone.
What?
Yeah. So this area, the everything around this area, around this part of the park, you had an enormous number of cats present to take care of pest control and other things like that.
After hours. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what are they going to do about, nutria and other things like starting to take over, or starting to intrude on, public spaces?
Well, I don't think they rounded up the cats culture. They're probably just elsewhere.
Well, they ran them off, I'm certain, because they I mean, this is a massive construction project.
They're also being sold in
so much land for them to do their cat business.
I hope so.
The critters are being sold over at the gift shop that no one's buying. So yeah.
Marvin, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this also adjacent to the area that has seen flooding issues the last several years? Like there was
well, so we had a there was a flooding issue in this area right here. Yes, that was the sewage leak that pretty much took out Frontierland for a while. So yes,
so gross.
Yeah.
But you have to think that they're installing all new infrastructure underground for this new land.
Lord, I hope.
So let's see. We zoom in down here.
They have so many.
Okay, here's a different angle. So this kind of gives us a good look at our footprint that we've got here for. Okay, so maybe this might not be the footprint for the ride itself. This might just be the remnant of Tom Sawyer Island. But it's still outlined in red, so I'm assuming that means it's being built up for something. But then there's a secondary outline in red here. So yeah, I think this has got to be the attraction.
I think so too.
I'm okay. This is going to be another heat island inside the park, and just another giant chunk of shaped concrete. And
let's see, can we get a better look at what this is down here though? Because I'm fascinated by whatever this is.
Yeah. I'm having alarms going off here. I'll be right back.
I mean, the good fortune on Disney's part here is, of course, there are literally nowhere else in Orlando can you get on a go-kart or a ride of some sort that mimics cars of any kind.
Can I point out one other thing though, guys? Like one other thing I'd like to point out here.
Yes,
please. Take a look at this walkway here in Frontierland. Do you notice anything about that? Pretty empty. Like there's people there, but not that many.
They got rid of the, unfortunately, the Big Owls and some other kiosks on Frontierland. Those are gone now, by the way.
So not a lot of people in Frontierland right now, because now the only reason to come down here is Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which a lot of times is closed down. Big Thunder is currently closed still, so that will increase foot traffic once that reopens. But the only reason to come down is the new Country Bears, which I don't care what y'all say. I actually really like the new Country Bears. And Pecos Bill.
That's it.
Really the only thing other than Tiana's Bayou Adventure down here. And we know Tiana's Bayou Adventure does not draw in big crowds.
And the little store that sells hats and stuff. Yeah. Other than that,
I will say that the DVC lounge is nice if you're a DVC member and you can go in there. I got to go in there the other day. It's I'm not happy that they replaced the shooting gallery because I thought that was fun, but they did a nice job, and it's ironically
they're very good at building lounges. They're very good at Imagineering is wonderful at building lounges. It is the one thing that they are still excellent at, is building exclusive lounges that not everyone is allowed in. Absolutely.
It's wild.
Why can't I find it? and the cliffs are never where I need them to be.
Where's that second attraction going to go? I'm trying to figure
And so
that out.
what we've tried to do is really bring that shape language from the architecture. But like what we love to talk about at WDI is shape language. And we often refer to shape language. There's such iconic shape language in Spaceship Rivetti attraction. We really wanted to make sure that we fused to that throughout the space.
You didn't. Well, of all the cheap, lousy ways to save a buck.
Welcome back, Culture.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so like I said, not a lot of people in Frontierland right now. Not a lot of reason to go down there. Now I'm sure though, you know, let's take a look at other areas of the park. So yeah, you can see Fantasyland. I mean, or Main Street USA. Still a lot of people over there. It's just this little stretch of Frontierland. Not a whole lot of reason to go over there, especially because if you're going to Adventureland, just go through the main hub at that point. So yeah, here's a bigger, broader view that's actually bringing Villains Land into the conversation. So we've got this big, huge plot of land here. So it looks like Cars Land. Maybe where do you think the cutoff is? Here, maybe. And then this is Villains Land.
Beyond Big Thunder. They want.
So what kind of like entryway are they just going to have it like Storybook Circus? Like you just walk into one thing after another.
I feel like transitions.
I don't think it's Storybook Circus. I think it connects into. So this is the carousel right here. So Villains Land would probably this is Small World.
No, forgive me. What I'm trying to think is like when you're leaving Fantasyland and you go into Storybook Circus, there's no like wowza big surprise. It's almost just like you're walking into Storybook Circus now.
Storybook Circus is all the way over here. It's all the way on the other side of this.
Do you think that's what it's going to be like transitioning from Piston Peak or whatever that thing is going to be?
Oh, maybe.
Villains? Yeah, like no transition thing. Like, oh, here we are now. You know, just like sorry, Culture.
No, I'm just trying to add to or answer your question. Yeah. It's going to be a rough transition.
Right.
They're going to have difficulty here leading one thing into the other.
Exactly.
And again, it's a difference between old Imagineering and new Imagineering.
It's just going to be ugly.
Right. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I will say we don't know for sure what their plan is. It might be an actual portal akin to like what Epic Universe does, which I do love those, but we don't know for sure. It might be that. It might just be you turn a corner from the cars and then there's Maleficent.
Yeah. So that's like how the Toy Story into Galaxy's Edge entrance, for example, if you were going that way, there's not much of an entrance. It's just a transition. You're like, okay, I'm in Toy Story Land. Okay, I'm in Galaxy's Edge. Whereas the other side of Galaxy's Edge, there's like an entrance to it.
A nice transition,
yeah. I wonder.
The way the Magic Kingdom was originally designed was you would go through these portals to go from land to land. Yep. Most of them were typically covered.
Exactly.
Because, and when you would go through, not to an extreme, but there would be a dimming of the light and then a raising of the light as you go through, because it was meant to mimic a scene transition in a film.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but we don't do that here.
Oh my gosh.
And look, I mean, one of the reasons that Muppets was on the chopping block for the Star Wars thing way back when was because the park was going to be rotated 15 degrees to allow for proper transitions from Star Tours to the rest of the balance of the Star Wars universe with the original trilogy in mind. And then on the other side, you would have a spot for Radiator Spring Racers and a drawn out entrance tunnel on the other side. That's because of how they shifted it and didn't rotate it as planned. That's how we ended up with that giant cavernous transition that, you know, does seem to waste an awful lot of space. And
you know, we've said before on the show that it didn't look like Villains Land was that big. This actually looks pretty big. Unless there's
Villains Land, way bigger than Piston Peak.
Where's the train going to go?
That's what we don't know. Everyone's wondering the same thing. They're like, they're going to reroute the train.
Yeah, so here's the train track right here. The train track is right here, and it runs through Splash Mountain, past Big Thunder, and it would normally, you know, go around this way, but not anymore. So.
No.
I think there's going to be a train stop in Villains Land.
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked.
That's a lot of extra engineering. I mean, it's easier just to bury it in a rock formation.
Actually, you know what? I don't think it will have a stop because it has a stop in Frontierland already. So there's already a stop right here. You wouldn't need to put a stop right here.
So if you get off on Frontierland, then you would go from there to Piston Peak, and then from there to Villains, I guess.
So let's have a look here. So yeah, this is more of like the Cars Land area, more of what they've got, reserved out for that. And then, yeah, that's got to be the attraction. I'm convinced that is the footprint of the attraction. And yep, that's as far as we go. And then Villains Land is all of this nonsense up here, I guess. Now we know some of this is going to be, construction parking and stuff like that, or that might be across the street. Let's go back to the WWNT. I think they've actually got something.
Forgive me for asking again. We probably covered it before, but is Piston Peak going to be part of Frontierland, or is that going to be its own? Is it even going to stay Frontierland, or are they going to change the name?
I don't know. I can't imagine that. Well, so it's meant to mimic a national park, so I guess maybe like from a rustic perspective, but it won't work.
It's not going to work, right? Yeah, Tiana's, Big Thunder Mountain, Piston Peak.
Basically admitted that they're redefining what.
So that means that Magic Kingdom will have, I guess instead of 6 themed lands, they'll have 8 themed lands, because Cars and Villains will be its own land. But I mean, so Magic Kingdom has never before had a land that is dedicated to one IP before.
That's correct.
So that's interesting, because Magic Kingdom told the story of American ingenuity and American, I guess the story of America coming over from old world Europe into, America, and then expanding outward, expanding westward, expanding, into Adventureland, things like that. And then it ends in Tomorrowland. So that story is now broken by the presence of Cars and Villains, but they don't care about that. Let's see. Various photos show different angles of the retaining wall. Okay, so that will be a retaining wall that will frame some part of the new waterways being carved out for Piston Peak. Some of these angles also offer a glimpse of Big Thunder Mountain, which remains closed. Then you've got, alongside the photos taken within park boundaries, we get an aerial look at the various staging areas and mining efforts taking place nearby. That routes, they're going to go beyond the Grand Floridian Resort and point to north of Walt Disney World property. They're building, new waterways and retaining ponds, which they would not have needed had they just, not gotten rid of the rivers of America.
What a mess.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Yeah, I mean, guys, the Magic Kingdom is being completely reshaped, completely rewritten. The story is being completely reworked, and we're going to find out whether that's going to be a net positive or, as many of us fear, a net negative.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.